So I want to talk about why and how I've been saving up my carbohydrates for later in the day. So there's a theory that some people have looked into called carb-backloading, that there's benefits in saving your carbohydrates for later in the day. Regardless whether there's any sort of information that supports that or not, you can look that up more. Some people call it carb night. There's a guy named John Kiefer that's done some research. Regardless of whether people want to say that works or doesn't work, this has been something that's worked for me for a while, just because from a behavioral standpoint, from energy standpoint, and so on. So if you can think that when people eat a lot of carbohydrates earlier in the day, it's going to start a cycle typically to where they're going to want to crave more carbohydrates because of the effect that carbohydrates have. So when you have foods that are higher in sugar, and this could be anything from grains to bread to fruit to any sort of things that would hit your bloodstream quick, especially without that fiber and fat and protein, your blood sugar is going to increase, and then insulin is going to be released to try to be able to push that blood into your cells so your body can use it. Well, if your body doesn't have a demand for it, it doesn't need to use it, it's going to be lingering around. Either more insulin is going to be pumped out, or after a time, only so much can be stored in those cells, and that's where a lot of it is going to be turned into fat. So throughout the whole day, your body will account for this, and some people say that's all that matters. I know that from an energy standpoint, I feel a lot better when I'm eating more protein and fat earlier in the day. It's going to help me have a lot more sustained energy. And then from a psychological perspective, I guess it gives me that peace of mind to look forward to something later. But also the fat that I eat earlier in the day is going to be ideally helping train my body to be more fat adapted. So rather than craving sugar every few hours, because that's what happens when we eat, let's say you have a bowl of cereal or something in the morning, or even a fruit smoothie. You feel really good, and then a couple hours later, what happens? You usually crave something to give you that reward center all over again. But by eating fat, especially something from like coconut oil or like a liquid coconut oil, you can put into tea or coffee or smoothies. It's going to help provide your body with a type of fat called MCTs, medium chain triglycerides, and that gives your brain ketones that it can use as energy. And then also, protein's still going to spike your blood sugar, but it's not going to kick into a cycle like carbohydrates do. So the amino acids you actually get from protein can be converted over to glucose. So it's not like you're going to be losing muscle, nothing's happening, you're not breaking down. The only times these things would change is if I was maybe doing something really active 2 times in the day and I wanted to restore my glycogen, the fuel that my body uses. But in most cases, I'm fine. I like to save them up for later in the day because it gives me something to look forward to, and I don't feel like I'm depriving myself. And I do that by eating meals that are really satisfying. So, example of a typical like lunch style meeting, this can be for dinner, chopped up lots of vegetables. In this case, broccoli, parsnips, some cultured veggies. Think of like a sauerkraut type of thing that's going to give you natural probiotics, flavor from like hot sauce and natural seasonings. Got some avocado. You can see in a video link of how I make this in a few minutes. So good healthy fats, a lot of nutrients. And keep in mind, the more high quality nutrients your body gets, like vegetables, we got kale and broccoli, spinach, all these things that don't sound super appetizing, but the more nutrients your body has, the less likely it's going to crave lower nutrients, because your body's going to be satisfied based on the mineral balance that it has. So try to find seasonal vegetables that that you can find for cheap, and chop them up, make them more palatable, use seasoning to enjoy them. And then otherwise, it's not like you're missing out on meals. If you're used to eating that carby type of meal, just slowly bring it down a little bit. But you can use things like this. So we got kelp noodles, which are super cheap, give you multiple servings, but also high, or kelp's gonna be high in iodine, so a lot of good nutrients and minerals for your body. And you could throw this over the top of this, and this will absorb whatever flavor that you want. So a challenge of like what I like to do or suggest for clients of mine is, see if you can get 3 servings of protein, so maybe it's a palm-sized portion throughout the day, and match that 3 to 4 servings of vegetables with a goal to get about 25 grams of fiber in before you really have any sort of starchy carbohydrates or fast digestion carbohydrates. So what this will do is it's going to satisfy you a lot, gives you something to look forward to, and then even the food that you do eat, it's less likely to have a negative effect if you eat it later in the day, especially as your body's being able to utilize more fat all throughout the day as it is. So I like that. The other snacks that I eat quite a bit, I eat these coconut oil snacks. So this is melted coconut oil. I put chia seeds in here. You can put a protein powder or collagen. These ones are vanilla, caramel. I use stevia. So you gotta watch out for hidden sugars too, because hidden sugars that are in sauces and salad dressings will also still spark that craving of you wanting more of those types of meals. But I find this is one of the most effortless ways to stay lean, to keep inflammation down in my body. And then at nighttime, depending on how active my day was, I might have more carbohydrates. And that's why I have something like a waffle or, you know, some healthy homemade ice cream snacks. And I feel like it's the complete opposite of shame and regret. I'm looking forward to the end of the day of getting a good meal that I can really indulge in. And then I get that serotonin increase, and then as it comes down, it makes me tired right before bed, and it keeps me into a deep sleep. But I notice that my focus, my energy stays a lot better if I eat fat and protein earlier in the day, even before my workouts. I'm not missing out on anything. I'm still making progress, getting them gains, staying stronger, even without carbohydrates before my meals. So eating them after has been such a better way to go. Plus then I can judge without tracking everything that I eat. You know, maybe I'll add an extra serving of carbohydrates or two, you know, from something like sweet potato, you know, or oats or rice or something, based on how active I was, and I know that's gonna go to replenish and restore what I did in my muscles. But nothing bad is happening from avoiding carbohydrates. If anything, it just teaches your body to have more discipline and become more adapted. Think of it metabolic adapting to using fat when your body needs it all throughout the day, your brain can use it and so on. And then you're using carbohydrates, you know, to recover from activity and so on. Because whatever I did physically today, I still have carbohydrates from whatever I ate last night or time before. And it doesn't matter when you eat it, it's not gonna turn into fat. I mean, I've been doing this for a while, the carbohydrates thing, and this is not because I have a fast metabolism, I just find that it works better for me if I can keep my blood sugar regulated all throughout the day and then enjoy myself at nighttime. So fiber, I said try to get in 25 grams of fiber. The best source of fiber, 25 to 30, and that's what's gonna help detoxify and promote regularity, get a lot of the toxins out of your body. But vegetables are gonna be one of the best sources. Or you got things like flaxseed or chia seed, like I said in here, seeds, nuts, avocado, all good sources of fiber. Getting more of those in is gonna make it really easy to stay full and stay satisfied. So give it a shot, be open-minded to try new things, see how it works for you. Whatever results you get are gonna be some sort of data that you can, you know, learn something from and create more awareness. I said it's still always best to track your food for maybe 3 days or a week or so to actually see the habits and rituals that you're doing and really identify like where are there hidden sugars or so on, you know, in your food that might be preventing you from, you know, adapting to be more of that fat burner. So here's the challenge. Get 3 servings of protein in, you know, so palm-sized portion. That could be eggs, protein shakes, seeds, nuts, hemp hearts, whatever you want to do. And try to get 4 servings of vegetables. But ideally think close to like a half a pound of vegetables. Sneak them in, put them in a smoothie, shake whatever you have to. You know, try to be aware that fiber is, and then have yourself a dessert, have yourself something carbohydrates rich, and watch what happens. You know, if anything, you'll find that a little bit will go a long way, or that you might not really need as much as you thought you did. There was a study that was done in London a few years back that took a bunch of people and said, you know, basically eat a pound of vegetables, and I think it was like 100 grams or 100 kilos of, or grams per, yeah, about 100 grams or so of protein. That's what it was. And eat that in the day, and then you can have whatever you want, desserts, anything like that later in the day. And what they found was that most people didn't have those cravings that they wanted later in the day because they were satisfied with all the nutrients. So big key is eat more vegetables. The how, make them more palatable, whether it's Brussels sprouts or anything. Chop something like that up. The more you chop it up and add flavor to it, the easier it's gonna be to enjoy it, and then you won't feel like you're depriving yourself. Hope that helps. Try it out. Let me know if you have any questions.